This is Jenna.
Hi, and I'm Heather.
And this is Conspiracies Unlocked. And today we are going to be going over all of the president-elect, the two people running for president this year.
Trump and Harris.
Yeah, Trump and Harris. We're going to go over all of their policies and what they say they're going to do to help the American people, what they're going to do in office, what they've already done. And we're going to go kind of piece by piece of what is on their website. So I got all of my information straight from their website. There's so much misinformation out there, and I feel like even some of our memes and stuff that we've put on, not that it's misinformation, but it's like joke, haha, just funny sarcasm. And satire. Yeah, we do a lot of satire. So I think that this is a very important subject that we do need to take more serious, and this really can define us and our life for the next 4 years and beyond.
Definitely beyond.
Yeah, it's not just for right now. It can affect future generations. It can affect, our Social Security. We talk about Social Security, taxes, economy, borders, just everything. They kind of touch base on everything, foreign affairs, manufacturing here, small businesses, everything. So, that's what we're going to be doing, and I really think it's important, and I hope that you enjoy listening and getting the straight facts from their site. And I actually made a book called The 2024 Conspiracies Unlocked Presidential Debate, Trump versus Harris. And inside, I printed all of their things, all of their promises from their website, and then I pasted it, and I taped them. I cut them all out and taped them so we can see a side-by-side reference to what Kamala's gun safety issues, what she's going to do, and what Trump is going to do. So we can really see everything from gun safety, manufacturing, like I said, so foreign affairs, and it just really gives you a side-by-side view of what each person feels and will do to help our country or not help our country. So let's get started.
And
any pre-thoughts?
No, all I'm going to say, just in case I forget to say it, which I don't think we will, no matter who you are voting for, vote. Don't forget to vote.
It's very important to vote because this is our country, and it's so, so important. And it's important for other countries too, because depending on what policy they're going to enact for foreign affairs, this could affect your friends and family in other countries too. So it's super, super important. So let's get started. I'm just going to do a quick background on both of the nominees. Kamala Harris was born October 20th, 1964. So that means in 3 days she will be 60. She was born 4 days, I'm sorry. What day is it? It's the 16th, sorry.
Today is October 16th, 2024.
She was born in Oakland, California, which is right underneath San Francisco, if you're not familiar with California. She was district attorney for San Francisco from January 8th, 2004 to January 3rd, 2011. She was the 32nd Attorney General in California from January 3rd, 2011 to January 3rd, 2017. And she was the United States Senator from January 3rd, 2017 to January 18th, 2021. Then from there, she became the vice president as of January 20th, 2021. Her husband is Doug Emhoff, and she has been married to him since 2014. Through him, she has 2 stepchildren. She has never had any children of her own. She went to Howard University with a BA, and she went to University of California in Hastings with a JD, which is a Juris Doctor, which is just a doctor of law. In the 90s, she dated Speaker of the California Assembly, Willie Brown, which I thought is interesting, and maybe that's why she took such a a liking to politics, and maybe he helped her get into politics by being a DA, by being the Attorney General. Maybe he kind of pushed her along into that.
And then didn't she also date Montel Williams?
I was just going to say in 2001, she dated Montel Williams. Yes. Montel Williams, as in the Montel Show, which I loved in the 90s when I was a kid staying home from school or after school. She is a Baptist. And, by the way, just really quick, I forgot to mention this. A Speaker of the California Assemblyman, Willie Brown, has been in office since 1965. And he is 90 years old. So he is 30 years older than her.
Oh, wow.
So when they dated 30 years ago, he was 60 and she was 30.
Okay.
She can't talk shit on the Girls Next Door or Playboy or any of those people. I swear to God, if she ever does, she is not allowed to, because that's not like, what were you doing? Sorry, we're supposed to be like completely unbiased, but I'd be saying that anyways by anybody. Anyways.
Well, that's not a political thing.
No.
That's just a personal thing.
Yeah. So Donald Trump was born June 14th, 1946. He is 78 years old, so only 18 years older than Kamala. So Kamala could be dating him, since that's her.
Well, with that
type.
Logic,
yeah. He was president January 20th, 2017 to January 20th, 2021. He has never had any political affiliation before that. As we know, he was a real estate person. He did what's the TV show called? The Apprentice. He was more of a public figure and a real estate guru than anything else.
He was a businessman.
He was just a businessman.
And a builder.
Yeah. In fact, what I thought was funny or interesting was that he was Democratic from 2001 to 2009. Then he became independent 2011 to 2012. So I thought that was interesting that he was Democratic and then he went to Republican. And I don't think that flip-flopping I don't think that we should call anything flip-flopping on either side whenever people change their minds when it's been over the course of a few years. It's one thing when they change their mind over the course of like a few days. Because you should always be able to change your mind when you get new information, learn, you grow. You figure things out, and, learning and growing is a part of human. And if you're not, then you're not growing, and you're just stuck.
Yeah, and a lot of people change their political party over time. I mean, things change, people evolve, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, Trump was married to Ivana from 1977 to 1990, and she had Donald Jr., Ivanka, and Eric with him.
I just have to say, I love the name Ivanka.
Yeah.
I don't know why,
I think it's weird that they, I don't think it's weird, but that they made up a name from Ivana.
Well, I think Ivanka is it's
Is it a real name? Is Ivana the made up one then?
I don't think that either of them are made up. I think it's just, whoops, there's an earthquake. We're in California. Just kidding.
I kicked the table. I'm sorry, guys.
No, I just like the name Ivanka. Regardless of, if that is his daughter, it doesn't matter. I just like that name.
Yeah, it's a fun name. So then he was married to Marla Maples from 1993 to 1999. And they had a daughter, Tiffany, together. And then his most current wife, they've been married since 2005, and they have Barron together. He went to the University of Pennsylvania for his bachelor's. And in 1968, he started working at his dad's real estate firm. And his dad started that real estate firm in the 20s. So definitely Trump Organization has been around for quite some time. He did file bankruptcy on 6 of his businesses between 2006 and 2010, which coincides with the last recession, and that could be why he changed to being independent, and that is why he chose to run for president, because he didn't like what was going on with our country, because the last time that we had a recession, a major recession, people lost their houses. It was really bad. But he had about 500 companies under the Trump Organization. Mm-hmm. So bankruptcy on 6 of them is in ratio isn't huge, but it is. People like to throw that in his face a lot, and I think that's why I wanted to really put that in there. Yeah.
Yeah, and filing for bankruptcy doesn't necessarily mean like the business is done, because lots of companies file for bankruptcy.
Toys R Us.
And
they're back.
What I did want to mention too about his about before he ran for presidency, I did see there's at least 2 or 3 interviews that I saw. He did one with Oprah where he talked about becoming president and the possibility. She asked him,
but that was in like 1992.
Yeah, I know.
And
that's
he
what
was
I'm
like,
saying.
I don't think so.
Yeah. And then there was one with, I want to say, Barbara Walters, I believe. And again, he said that he didn't even think that he would want to run for presidency, but if he felt like, he could do a good job and be good for America, then he would.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting that even back then, it was like they were putting their little feelers out for him, like, oh, would you run
planting seeds?
Yeah,
even maybe
planting seeds.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, I'm going to get into the topics. Before I start, I will tell you that everything that Kamala Harris said, she had every topic, and then she had bullet points, and then at the very bottom, or like a paragraph, and then at the very bottom, she would say, Trump's Project 2025 is going to do this. Well, I need to explain that and everybody does not understand that Project 2025 is not endorsed by Trump. It is not made by Trump. It was established in 2022 through the Heritage Foundation. That is when Agenda 2025, they made the book and everything. The Heritage Foundation is a 501 nonprofit organization that publishes its Mandate for Leadership series every election period since 1981 and aligns with the elections. So the first time was for Reagan. Reagan didn't adapt to the Project 1981. No president or running for president has ever actually used this quote-unquote guidebook. So it's just anybody can make a book and be like, hey, I want it to be this way. But in reality, and she knows this, everybody should know this by now, and just I feel like she's using huge propaganda and lying. She's just fucking lying to perpetuate this hatred towards Trump when it's not even true. So whoever wrote on her website, on her campaign website, is should be fired for misinformation, because she didn't write it.
Yeah, and then Trump has actually already stated publicly that he has not even read the.
He doesn't want to.
He doesn't. It doesn't have anything to do with him, and he hasn't even read it. He doesn't care about it.
He actually has Agenda 47, so he has his own thing going on. He doesn't give a fuck about Project 2025, and he doesn't want to read it because he doesn't want to fuck with anything that he has going on. He just wants to stay in the dark about it, so it doesn't implicate him, I'm sure.
Well, if he does talk about it, then they can twist his words.
Exactly. So it's easier just to say nope, nothing. Never seen it. Nope, no, and yeah.
Don't care.
Yep. So the first subject that we are going to go over is the border, which is a huge thing for Trump, and supposedly Harris was the border czar that Biden had made her this. Okay, here, this is your job as vice president, secure the fucking border. However, whenever I try to look at all that, there's several conflicting. There's some news stories that say she is, some say she's not. Some news stories are from years ago when it was President Biden told her this, all happy before any of this stuff came about. So trying to kind of figure that out, I do know that I saw an interview, and I don't know when it was dated, but it was circulating the internet, and it was an interviewer asking her, have you been to the southern border? And she said, well, I've never been to Europe either. So I don't know if she was joking and it was out of context. I didn't see the whole interview, but
I think she eventually did go to the border.
Yeah, and I don't know when that was dated, because
I feel like it was more for a photo op than the actual to do something. But
yeah, I'm not sure. So, while she was Attorney General, she says that she got rid of gangs, human traffickers. As vice president, she supported the bipartisan border security bill. And that just means that when the system gets overwhelmed, whoever is in charge has to shut down the border. So when the system, not like obviously not illegal border crossers, but when intake gets too much and the system of like intaking legal immigrants,
like an
influx of that, they can shut down the border and say, nope, we're all done. Nobody can come over with their visas or anything. But obviously that doesn't work with illegal aliens or illegal immigrants that are coming over the border because those are obviously undocumented. She says that this is the strongest border in decades, which kind of goes against what she says about Trump and how he shut down the border and how he didn't allow anybody through and all this stuff. So if that's the strongest border, then that kind of contradicts. And don't worry, I'm going to say all this about like Trump too. I'm going to contradict like half of what he says too. So I'm not just being like, to Harris. I'm going to be on both sides about it. Because I'm just a hater on everybody at this point. So I think they're all fucking stupid at this point. So she says that she added 1,500 border agents and claimed Trump stopped the border bill. She also claimed that Biden had the lowest illegal crossing in 4 years. And she said that she's going to fight for an earned pathway to citizenship, which, great, do that. Try to make it easier to become a citizen or come here legally, because just there's not enough infrastructure for all these extra influx of people. Like, we need to know you're here, you know? If you come over illegally, we don't have enough food, we don't have enough schooling, we don't have enough road, we don't have enough housing.
Not only that, we have to vet these people and make sure that no matter
even if they're
not criminals and they're not going to...
Well, even if they are all nice and friendly people, we need to know you're here, because not all illegal immigrants are criminals or they really are here to get a better life or go be with their family or whatever. But we just don't have enough roads for it, or enough housing, enough anything, because we don't know you're here.
I just always default back to the same question I tell myself. What other country is just going to let people just walk in and basically just come in and be like, I'm here.
I've arrived.
Every country has some kind of process.
Yes, exactly.
So
that
it's
is
not
so
unheard
true.
of that America would have some type of legal process.
Exactly. So here is Trump's side of the border. He says a lot of his policies start with common sense tells us. So his is saying that common sense tells us that if we don't have a border, we don't have a country, and that he wants to restore sensible border security and immigration policy, and he wants to continue to complete the wall. He's already had hundreds of miles done of the wall, but he was fought every step of the way. He also wants to send back millions of illegal immigrants that are known drug dealers and gang members that, quote-unquote, Biden let in. I don't know how you would find illegal immigrants to do that, other than if they get arrested, just send them immediately back, which that should be already happening. And if that isn't happening, then Biden-Harris administration and any other administration that doesn't already do that is failing us.
Well, I think because once they get here illegally, then there are other laws in place to protect them.
Yeah.
From being able to just be deported that quickly. I think there's a process to that as well. Trump literally cannot go around door by door and
that's
pull
why I'm
you
saying,
out of your house
and as long
and
as
say, okay, we're sending you back to wherever country, Venezuela. They've been talking a lot about Venezuela or wherever. Yeah. They can't do that legally. They can't even. I don't even think they can do that legally. You cannot do that.
And then a lot of illegal immigrants are worried and concerned for their friends and their family that aren't drug dealers, not gang members. They're just living their lives, and they've just been here illegally for years and years and years. And a lot of people are worried and concerned that Trump is going to try to deport those people back too, and he says that it's just going to be the known drug dealers and gang members. So pretty much if you get arrested, he's going to deport you back. Don't do anything bad.
Yeah,
and you would be fine.
Yeah.
Which we don't want drug dealers and gang members, especially if you're legal, like we don't want them anyways.
Yeah, we
definitely don't want American drug dealers. We don't want any drug dealers or gang members, and I especially don't want to waste our tax dollars paying for Venezuelan, Mexican, whatever other illegal immigrants.
Yeah.
Drug dealers, like other countries, gang bangers and drug dealers and rapists and whatever. So, anyways, so he says
human traffickers.
Yes, that's a big one. He will use advanced technology to monitor and secure the border, bring home thousands of troops to secure our border. And he talks about, this comes up later too, about bringing home troops. Travel ban through Title 42, which means that he would make asylum cities inactive. So all the asylum cities that people could go, like are free for illegal immigrants to be
Colorado,
here.
like what's happening in Colorado and Denver with Venezuelan gangs.
So those asylum cities would be like, stop, no more federal funding. And it's really sad because there are instances where people are fleeing from bad situations and they're good people, but the bad people ruin that for them. Mm-hmm. So what are you going to do? He's also going to put in the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. It was last put into effect during World War II, which means that he will deport anyone from an enemy country or terrorist group. He's referring to the Hamas and to groups like that. Hamas, yeah. Did I say it funny?
You said Hamas.
Hamas.
You said Hamas.
Whatever. The Hamas people and just... any terrorist organization, if you're affiliated, then you're going to get the boot.
But is there Hamas here in America?
I think that they did escape. Some of them are here.
Oh.
I think that they did. And then he wants to put American families first. Illegal immigration drives up the cost of housing, education, and healthcare for families. So with that, as I was saying, that if we don't know you're here, we're not going to build houses for you or have enough housing for our people, let alone your people, even if you are good people and you deserve to be here. Not deserve, but if you want to be here, then you need to come here legally. That's the way it needs to be, because we don't have enough roads, cars, anything. We just don't have enough. Like, your city gets X amount of money from the government. Well, if you add in 1 million people to your city or 100 people to your city or 200, then you're not going to have enough money to keep the roads going and safe and doing all these things and having enough playgrounds and having enough schools. And that's why we have that's why we have 35 kids to one teacher down here in San Diego. Yeah. I know we have that here. I don't know how it is in other states. If maybe when you get more north, it gets like less. But I don't know. But
yeah, we're more densely populated too.
Yeah, and I think it's because we don't have enough schools, because we're not getting enough federal funding or whatever, because we're inundated with illegal immigrants down here.
I will say too, like on the whole, because we do live in San Diego and we do live so close to the border, I've worked with many people who they live in Mexico, but they have work visas.
Yeah.
And they come here and they work legally because they have their permit, they have their visa to work, and then they drive across the border and they live in Mexico. And a lot of people in Southern California do that.
They do that, but they know that they're here. And like even there was one guy that I was doing business with, that he worked down in Chula Vista, which is like lower San Diego County, very close to the border, and he actually lived in Mexico. He was an American citizen, and he had his visa, and he lived in Mexico. He was a resident of Mexico now, citizen of America, but lived there full time, and he would come up here. So it works on both ends, and so the border needs to be this fluid thing, because there is so much that people can gain if they want to from living in Mexico, working here, or opposite. Like, there is.
Well, it's a big financial gain because it's so much cheaper to live in Mexico, and our dollar is worth more.
And we should be able to have that. And you guys, not you guys, but illegal immigrants should be able to have that option too, but not illegally. So I'm like, illegal immigrants, no, it shouldn't be illegal.
They have the work visa, so it is legal.
Yeah, but you have to do it the right way.
Yeah. So there's options, other options.
So he also says that there would be strict vetting. Republicans will use existing federal law to keep foreign Christian-hating communist, Marxists, and socialists out of America. Those who join our country must love our country. We will use extreme vetting to ensure that jihadists and jihadist sympathizers are not admitted, which goes back to the terrorist groups, I believe. I'm not, just all that. Like, just do really well vetting to not allow.
That sounds like America first.
Yeah. So, that was the border. Next up is housing. Here is, not Trump, Harris. Harris's side of housing says when she was Attorney General, she gave $20 billion for middle-class families who faced foreclosure.
How much?
$20 billion.
With a B.
B.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, in her first term, she plans to make 3 million more rental units across America. She would penalize firms that hoard available homes, which we've been seeing this here. I've seen it recently, like in San Diego. I'm not sure about other parts of the country. I can only say for what we've seen here, that companies are purchasing houses, and they are purchasing like these, and then they are
or apartment complexes.
Apartment complexes. Big companies are purchasing these, and they are hoarding them for Airbnbs. So that is kind of fucking with our housing as well, because they shouldn't be able to do that. Like, a company should not own multiple houses, ever. They just shouldn't.
Well, I was thinking, like, they buy the apartment complexes and then they kick everybody out, the people that are already there, and they turn them into condos.
Oh, that too.
And then they sell them as condos.
Well, but that's not really hoarding the available homes.
No, it's not hoarding, but it's
hoarding
just
hoarding would be the Airbnbs.
Yeah.
Because there's like 5 Airbnbs on this fucking road. Mm-hmm. Like, right here, there's like 5. So you would be able to potentially sell those houses. That'd be 5 more homes available for people to purchase or rent or live in full time instead of 1 week a month or whatever.
Well, I was just thinking about
vacation homes.
The people that live in those apartments the circumstance I was thinking of, because I know somebody this happened to, and they were in a like a rent controlled so to speak.
Oh, and
and then they were bought out. Mm-hmm. Everyone had to move. And then, because of the housing crisis, there's no place for them to move with the same rent that they could afford and they've been used to paying. Yeah. And they give them, I don't know how many days, let's say 30 or 90 days, I don't know, however many legally days they can, minimum legally days they can give them to move because, they're selling the property. And then they can't afford to buy those condos. And then the condos they're selling for insane prices for the area. Yeah. Like over $500,000 in the ghetto, so to speak.
Or more. A condo here would be like over $1 million. Condos around here are
this was like a little bit, maybe like, I don't know, maybe like 5-10 years ago. I don't know. Yeah. This was a little while ago, but I know that it's been happening for a while, and it still is happening. But yeah, for like a little condo, they can't afford to buy it. So where are those people going to go?
Yeah, exactly.
There's no apartments for them to go rent.
Mm-hmm. So they're taking away from apartments and everything. And I think that it's a aspect that people don't really realize, that she's bringing light to, that this is a problem that we didn't realize. Mm-hmm. She says that she'll give first-time home buyers will get $25,000 down in down payment assistance, and then she says plus more.
Plus more. Is that for American citizens or is that for who?
It says on her page, to quote, Vice President Harris will provide first-time home buyers with up to $25,000 to help with their down payments, with more generous support for first-generation homeowners. So if you're a first-generation homeowner...
Is that first-generation American or just homeowner?
First-generation homeowner. So probably if your parents owned a home here, you would not be eligible.
So nobody's eligible?
No, I'm not eligible.
Who's eligible?
The people whose parents weren't...
The people who just moved here and they don't have any ties here.
Yes.
Because most people our generation...
Their parents bought houses in the 80s, 90s.
Because it was more affordable. Most people owned homes.
Yeah. So this will work for our kids. Because I'm not going to probably ever own a home. I have my desert house, but that's not a house. No, because it's on wheels. It's still on wheels. It's huge and it's still on wheels. We're not taking off the wheels. We can't move it, but if you go out there, it's still on the wheels. We just keep building up. Bigger, bigger, bigger. Yeah.
Okay, so it can benefit some, but her plan can benefit some, but not most.
In like 20 years.
Not most.
To our kids, yeah. So, and not to your kids, because their dad owns a house, right? Their dad already bought a house?
I don't know the status of
that.
No,
my kids can't because Brad already bought a house once. So no, nobody's gonna ever. No.
I don't think so.
All right, so on to Trump's views on housing. He wants to reduce the mortgage rates by slashing inflation. And it's like, well, how are you going to do that? He'll explain that later because he does get into that, like, very detailed, actually. Open portions of federal lands for new home construction. So the federal government owns a bunch of land still, and every so often they'll, like, release a portion of it, which I don't want to say where because I want to get some. But do you remember how we were looking at that and you could buy lots, like an acre or two for like $5,000?
Oh, yeah. It was in another state, though, wasn't it?
No, but yeah.
Oh, okay. So it was in California.
But I don't want to say where because I don't want it to get all
bought up.
Beaten up. Yeah,
so wait, it was like $2,000 an acre?
$5,000 for like an acre, and 2 acres were like $7,500.
It's out in the boonies, though, people.
It was, but you know that in 20 years it's going to be a booming city.
Yeah.
Once the corporations come in. Anyways, and he wants to give tax incentives for all homeowners and new home buyers. So he's saying that he wants to do it for all homeowners, not just, here's $25,000 for new home for help down payment assistance. He wants to help for everybody.
I like that.
Yeah, and he also wants
more inclusive. Thank you.
Yes, and he wants to cut unnecessary regulations that raise housing costs. Because there are kind of, especially here in California, there's lots of regulations that we have to do. I don't own a house, so I'm not sure exactly what they are, but I know, like, there's a lot of fucking bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Red tape.
Yeah, red tape. Lots of red tape. Okay, so moving on to education. Harris wants to ensure all parents can afford high-quality childcare. She does not say how or which way she's going to do this. She wants to fight to end student loan debt. As vice president, she cleared $170 billion in student loan debt for 5 million borrowers. I did the math. That's about $34,000 per borrower. And I'm not gonna lie, like, to say that she did it, I don't know if she did it or Biden did it, but that was one of their campaign promises last time.
I didn't get any of my student loans taken away.
I did not apply for anything. I didn't do anything, and all mine were wiped. 48,000.
Yours were wiped?
Yeah, 48,000 were gone. I didn't apply for it. I didn't.
How the hell did that happen?
I don't know. But I'm one of the people who it worked for.
I didn't get... I still have all my student loans.
You had to...
did not get anything wiped. I wish I did.
And I keep... So, and this was in... It was right after 2020. It was probably 2021 or 2022 when it happened. But they had put me on a payment plan, and I was paying it, and I was paying a really high, like, not a high amount, but I was paying like $1,000 a month. And as long as I pay that $1,000 a month for 1 year, the payments would go back down to like $300 a month for like the rest of my life, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And I had just done that, and literally it was like the last month, and COVID hit. And so you couldn't make a payment because they stopped allowing you to even make payments. They were like, you don't even make payments.
Yeah, they put a hold on
everything for like a year.
Yeah, I did get a hold
Trump did that. So Trump did that for like a year. Then when they started to redo it, kept expecting something, didn't get anything, so went online, and
are you sure they didn't?
They didn't even tell me.
But they didn't just put yours on deferment?
No, because I went online, and it said zero balance. I went on 3 different websites, zero balance. I called them.
But a lot of the lenders switched. So,
it's
they
been
switched to, I think, Fannie Mae or something.
But it's still on the government website. It's still on the government, mystudent.com or .gov or whatever. Nothing. I messaged them, nothing. I have not gotten anything in the mail. I've not gotten anything about it. Knock on wood, it's been 2 years. And so they didn't lie about that because I am one of the people, and I don't know why, I don't know how, I don't know anything. And all they said was because you were in good standing and you weren't in default.
I was never in default, and I was in good standing, and I never got mine.
Were you on government? Was it through the government or private?
Mine is private. It wasn't.
That's
wait,
probably,
no. It was through the government.
You have a my.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I have no idea why.
Mine is through the government because when I actually went to school, I knew nothing about what the fuck I was doing. And the financial people are just like, oh, don't worry, we're going to set this all up for you, sign here. And I was just dumb, and I was just like,
yeah,
okay.
I did all that too, yeah.
And then I was like, oh, it's not free? No, just kidding.
I know.
I
did financial assistance. What the fuck? No, I didn't.
I think I got like a FAFSA or something.
Yeah, me too.
And like a little bit of money, but not
enough. Yeah, and I don't know why. I don't know why it happened to me. I'm thankful. I'm grateful that it happened, but
because I remember when all that was happening
for me.
With the Biden administration and everything, and they actually said there was a whole thing about it, and they said actually it was not going to go through, that nobody was going to get their shit paid, and that it was not approved by the Senate.
I don't know, because somehow my shit got paid, and she's saying that she did it, so...
Yeah. Okay.
It's weird, huh? I wonder if it depends...
Maybe they were going to do like another phase.
Yeah, and you missed out on that one, or maybe it depends on what you... had your degree in, or what your degree was, or something like that.
I don't know. Mine was in dental science.
Mine was a bachelor. I had an associate's and a bachelor's because I wanted a break in between in psychology. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Weird.
Yeah. Anyways, and then my child development stuff I did completely. I paid for out of pocket and did at community colleges. So, at one point, you guys, I was doing 18 units in one semester. Part hybrid, partial, and I was going to 2 different colleges. Like, isn't that so psychotic? Like,
you're very determined.
Yeah, I just wanted to get it done with. Anyways, she invested in HBCU colleges and universities, and I had to or HBCU, and I was like, what the hell is HBCU? And I guess it's historically black colleges and universities. So she invested in that as vice president. She also increased the Pell Grant by $900 per year, and right now it's $7,395 per year, and the Pell Grant is what the FAFSA and all that is. So I think back then we got like $4,000 or $5,000 when we went to school, and now it's up to $7,400 almost, and it'll go up to $8,300 if she gets elected. Which, that makes sense because it's going up with inflation. It should go up.
Yeah.
It would probably go up anyways. Okay, so Trump, I had no idea that Trump was such he has so much on education, and I had no idea. Heather told me, oh no, he was really part of education. It's a big deal to him. He had Trump University and all this stuff, and I had no fucking idea. So, it's interesting because they always say the uneducated love Trump, but Trump is all about education, so whatever. So he wants to restore parental rights and no more teacher tenure. So where just because you've been there for 20 years, you have tenure and you just stay forever and whatever. But he wants them to have merit pay. He also wants the 529 education savings account plans, which is an account sponsored by a state or state agency and tax advantage investment account. So you can make your kids a 529 education savings account, put money into it, and it would grow like in a 401k or IRA or whatever. But with that, currently you can't go to your school of choice. You can't do this, you can't do that. He wants to expand it to where you have your school of choice, so you can use it for any trade school, anything. Before it had to be to a university or to this type of school. Now he wants to just have it across the board, anything for education. He wants to do career training in school, which I think is fabulous. I think that was the worst thing that they could have done was take away wood shop and.
They still have wood shop.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
They didn't at my school. But like auto, I know some schools don't have auto anymore. They don't have they have home ec, but not like cooking class. They don't have sewing class anymore. They used to have like basic living class, you know, like, and they don't have that. So I think that's really important that they like teach kids to.
It also depends, actually, when I'm thinking about it. It depends on where you go, because my kids go to an academy and they have culinary arts.
They have all that, but yours is a charter school. That's not a public high school. I mean, it is a public high school, of course, but it's a charter school. It's not like your normal, like you have to go apply, you have to get in, you know.
Yeah, that's true. And then they also have, what's the other one? Oh, I lost my train of thought. It'll come back to me.
Like Brad got his driving class. It was a class in high school, driver's ed. Mm-hmm. They didn't have to go to anywhere else. They have to
go to the college now for driver's ed.
Yeah, no, I went to like a private location, but like and my parents had to pay like $300 for it back then, and like back in 2003,
it's
like
over
it's crazy.
$500 a student now, and you have to go to the community college.
So crazy. So. He wants to bring back reading, history, science, math, and get rid of gender indoctrination and CRT, which is critical race theory. And so I kind of had to figure out, like, I had to Google it to make sure that I understood what critical race theory was, because I'm like, why wouldn't you want that to be in there? But it says that race is embedded in society and institutions. So it's saying that we wouldn't know what race was if it wasn't already embedded into it. It was a theory that that two people came up with in the 70s and 80s.
The way I see that is, instead of focusing on how we're different in different races, just focus on, like, for humanity, like, we're all human, we're all the same.
I think that he's just saying just fucking focus on what you're there to do. Read, history, science, math, fuck the rest. Like, why are you having anything like Pride
don't have
Day?
That division.
Yeah, why are you having a division? Why are you having Pride Day? Why are you having this? Why are you having that? Just stick to what you're supposed to be doing at school.
Yeah.
Promote love of country with authentic civics education. And authentic, I think he means, is like, don't fucking sugarcoat it or anything, but don't like
be honest.
Be honest about it.
Yeah.
Like, whatever happened, but it's what we are. Freedom to pray and read the Bible in school, because you should be able to be free to do that. If you had a Quran, or not Quran, but if you had some other from the Middle East right now in school, they'd be like, oh, it's cool. But if you're like Bible and pray and God and Jesus, you're like, no, it's not okay.
So you feel like they're just trying to eliminate Christianity from school and not other religions?
Yes.
Because
I've thought that forever, yeah.
Because it would be...
well, okay. Do this. Go on social media and put a quote from the Bible, and then put a quote from Buddha or something else, and then see how much hate you get on the Jesus one or the Buddha one. Or, like, do a quote from another, like, any other religion other than probably Jewish. Probably not the Quran, because the Quran is just the Old Testament. So it's still like the Bible.
I don't know anything about the Quran, so I can't say anything about it.
It's because that's all that Jewish people just believe that Jesus never came. So they believe the Old Testament all the way up until, like, once the New Testament hits, they're like, nope.
The way I understand that part of Judaism is that, because I did live with a Jewish family for 2 years, and, like, our families were really, really close, is the way that the father explained to me is that they believe in Jesus. They just don't believe that he was the son of God. He was just a man.
Just a man. Just a normal man.
More like a motivational speaker. Like he used to have his TED Talks back in the day.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. So that's why they don't believe in the Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, or any of that in their book, saying that he walked on water and ate fish and all that. Uncle Monty is Jewish.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually know quite a few Jewish people, so.
Yeah.
I just don't know anybody that studies the Quran, so I'm like, I don't know. I've never read it. So
Uncle Monty's kids went to Jewish school. Like, to a Jewish private school in La Jolla.
Like Hebrew, the
Hebrew school, yeah. And then, and did the bat mitzvah. because Aunt Stacy is super Jewish, and her family was part of, like, the whole Hitler thing. Like, her grandma has the tattoo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they're, like, very Jewish.
I know how to say Shalom Manishmat, which is probably not pronounced correctly, but it's like Hebrew for hello, how are you?
Oh, okay. It's not
Shalom Manishmat. I believe is how you say it.
I knew someone named Shalom. I forget who. It doesn't matter. I just know that I've heard that name before.
I think it means hello.
I think so too, yeah. Anyways, he claims that the U.S. spends more money per pupil on education than any other country in the world. And he's saying that to be like, this is bullshit because we're not as smart as other countries when it comes to education. And either way, that's fucking a lie. Other countries spend way more money per student, per pupil than we do. So that's a lie. He said that teachers will be cherished, and he's going to push for alternatives to a 4-year college. So he's going to push for trade school and these other things. Like, you don't have to go to college to have a good paying career. You don't have to go to college to be successful. You don't have to go to college, to do all these things. I don't even use my college degree. So...
yeah,
and then he wants to get rid of schools that discriminate. So that's exciting.
I was just thinking, like, I was gonna say when you're like, I don't even use mine. I'm like, most people I know that went to like a 4-year college and got like a degree aren't even in the field that they went for the degree for.
Yeah.
Like, because you might go to college and study something and think that's what you're gonna do forever, and then you're gonna grow and adapt and change your
change what you want to do, and different opportunities and things happen,
but you still have that on your resume because people do still want to see that you did accomplish that, like, even if it doesn't pertain to your job that you're applying for, it does show some level of like determination and like study, like whatever they're looking for,
Yep. So, next up is foreign affairs.
This is a good one, especially with everything that's happening right now.
Yeah. So, here is Harris's side. As vice president,
I love how you're starting with Harris each time, because it's like ladies first.
Oh, is that why?
I don't know. I think so. It's kind of...
yeah.
You're very chivalrous.
I am. I don't know how to say it, but I love it. So, as vice president, she traveled to 21 countries, met with 150 world leaders, met with China's Xi Jinping, which I think is interesting that she met with him, because Trump did in 2017, and he was the first one to do that in, like, ever, actually. He was the first one that had...
to meet with China?
Yes, to have dinner on their land and everything.
I thought that was a Korea, that he was like the first one for Korea.
No, China.
Oh, okay.
With this exact Xi Jinping. He was the first person, and they gave him
that is shocking to me, because we do so much business with China, but they never met with anybody from China.
He was the first one to go to China.
Oh, okay.
Go there and have dinner and be invited for dinner.
I never knew that.
He was the first one. I Googled it because I was like, wasn't that the guy? Because I was thinking, so as I'm doing all this, I'm like constantly like Googling like everything and like researching and looking up, we'll get into like acts and things and like whatever they want to pass and this and that.
Yeah.
And I like look it all up to make sure that I'm not, I want to get my facts straight for this, obviously. And I was like, is that the same dude that they gave him such shit for? Because they use it in her debate. She said, he's all best friends with Xi Jinping. Like, during the debate.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
They use it, he's all buddy-buddy with Putin and Xi Jinping. Like, they say that about him. But then she's over here being like, I met with China's president, Xi Jinping. And it's like, well, dude, you just gave her, like, you just keep giving, like, what? What the fuck, guys? So, it's like, it's
maybe it's just hoping people will forget about that or not know. Like, I didn't know that, so.
Yes, you did. You did. If we went back to 2017, you would so remember it.
No, I don't remember that. I didn't know that Trump was the first one.
Yeah.
That I didn't know.
He was always like, yeah, like, I was the first, like, he's always said that, and I Googled it to make sure, but they were like, yeah, because that's an enemy place, like, you're not supposed to go there, like, you're not supposed to actually, like, go there and have, you're, like, pretty much having dinner with the enemy and blah, blah, blah.
I know we do so much business with China.
I know.
I would just assume that the two presidents would meet up and confer.
Yeah.
But
I guess I don't know, but so I just thought it was interesting that for all the shit that Kamala Harris and her supporters and Biden supporters say, like, they used it against him during the Biden, like, debates and presidencies, that she's like, oh, and I did this. Fuck.
So it's kind of reaching, I guess you would say.
So then she also said she went to the Indo-Pacific 4 times. I'm like, what the fuck is the Indo-Pacific? Do we have a new country I don't know about? Okay, so the Indo-Pacific is
cute, Jenna.
Do you know what it is?
No, but it was just cute how you said that.
So it's a total of 14 countries that some of them include India, Indonesia, Japan, Korea, Malaysia, Bangladesh. So she went to the Indo-Pacific 4 times. So
Indonesia?
now I'm questioning. Yes, I'm questioning whether or not maybe she really never did go to Europe, because if she's like, woohoo, I went to fucking Malaysia 4 times or India, or like. That's not a big accomplishment for a vice president to only go 4 times over there, you would think. You would think that it would be part of your rounds. You're
Yeah.
Especially to be so proud of it in foreign affairs. We're talking foreign affairs. We're not talking your vacation book.
Yes.
Like, she wants to come off as this, like, strong foreign affair leader, but it's interesting to me. Just food for thought. So she also says that she went to Korea, which is probably one of the times that she's counting as the Indo-Pacific trip, to affirm our commitment to South Korea. That she, like, Korea knows that we stand with South Korea, not North Korea. Vice President Harris will always stand up for Israel's right to defend itself, and she will always ensure Israel has the ability to defend itself. She and President Biden are working to end the war in Gaza such that Israel is secure, the hostages are released, the suffering in Gaza ends, and the Palestinian people can realize their right to dignity, security, freedom, and self-determination. She and President Biden are working around the clock to get a hostage deal and a ceasefire deal done.
What about the ones that died already?
And also, that was a quote from her actual website. And I circled around the clock because I think it's funny that Biden wants to be in bed by like 8, and she's off doing night shows and drinking beer with Jimmy Fallon and doing the Howard Stern show.
I don't think Biden's medication would allow him to stay up past
around the clock. I just thought, so I don't know. But anyways, that was a direct quote about Israel. I know that all of this is a hot topic for people, so I didn't want to paraphrase that. So she also boasted that she went to Ukraine to meet with President Zelensky to warn him just 5 days before the Ukraine attack, which this is something that Trump attacks her for, because he says, well, what the fuck? You went there and then they get attacked? Like, what help did you do? You didn't do shit. Like, you should have done something. You should have gone to Ukraine to be like, fuck off, don't do or not Ukraine, but Russia, or like, should have done something else. Like, and that he's like, if I was there, that would have never went down. And a lot of wars have started since Biden was in office.
And maybe 5 days was not enough warning.
Yeah, so
they had to have known that there was some stuff going on also, because they have their own intel.
Yeah.
You know, they don't need us to tell them what's going to happen. They have their own intel also.
Yes. So, she also claimed to help mobilize a global response of more than 50 countries to help defend Ukraine. I say claimed because I cannot confirm nor deny or find anything to help that, but that makes it sound like she sent out the invitations to 50 countries and she orchestrated this whole big thing, which is interesting because Biden is president, and why the fuck is she organizing it? Like, wouldn't that be...
Organizing what, did you say?
she helped mobilize a global response of more than 50 countries to help defend Ukraine.
Oh, for NATO or
No. And she said that she claims that NATO is stronger than ever. So yeah, so she went above and beyond the NATO people, like the NATO organizers, and organized it herself, sent out little RSVPs. Like, it doesn't make sense. So there's no way for me to confirm nor deny that.
I don't know. She can say she did anything, but I mean.
Yeah. So, also supposedly, 350 foreign policy and national security experts have endorsed her. I obviously looked that up. Some say 700, some say 100. And so it is true, probably, that 350 of these people. But these people, including Hillary Clinton. Is Hillary Clinton a foreign policy or national security expert? Like, what makes her a foreign policy or national security expert? Hillary Clinton.
I don't know what Hillary Clinton's role is.
She's the fucking... She ran for president, and she...
No, I know who she is. I just don't know, like, what her political role is right now.
Being... I don't know. I don't know.
Hitman?
No, like, I don't think she is. I think she's a...
Orchestrator.
Like, pulling of the strings.
I don't know.
Side note, 133 endorsed Biden, and 400 endorsed Trump. Depending on, there's just so many different articles, different everything, so that was kind of hard to, like, pinpoint the actual facts on. Like I said, it kind of depends on what your definition of a foreign affairs specialist is. So, here are Trump's views on foreign affairs. He wants to build an Iron Dome missile defense shield.
That's like what the other country has. Who has that?
The middle
Ukraine?
Yeah, the Middle East has this.
Or is it Ukraine?
So it pretty much they use radars to detect incoming short-range rockets and intercept them. And it's been in service since 2011. It's $50 million per battery. And each battery will do like 100 of these or something like that. So they already have them in the Middle East, but they're not here. Probably because we're not really that close range where it would be a short range. We would get them before.
Well, we are for Russia.
2 miles away, baby.
I mean, we are really close to Russia if you really look at
for Alaska, yeah. He wants to make the U.S. military the most modern, lethal, and powerful force. He wants to invest in cutting-edge research and advanced technology. Higher pay for the troops. This stuff kind of got into foreign affairs, but it should have been put in the military side, so I apologize. Like I said, I just copy and pasted and tried to, like, I printed out all of their stuff, and it was just pages and pages and pages, and you should have seen me last week. I had the whole floor covered with all these pages, and I'm going through each one trying to find, like, all the military stuff, all the foreign affairs stuff. So everything that they have is in this book, but there are some things that, like, yeah, that probably should have been put in military, not foreign affairs. But, I mean, foreign affairs and military, they do kind of go hand to hand.
We're going to talk about everything anyway.
Yeah, it's all going to be said anyway. So, higher pay for troops. He also wants to stand with, he's standing with Israel. He's supporting Indo-Pacific to be strong and independent on their own, which I think is huge. Like, you don't want to just be giving handouts. You don't want to have to protect them. You want to help them to be strong and independent. Why do we have to have our troops out in Bangladesh all the time? We don't need troops there to live there. We need Bangladesh to figure out how to support themselves. So I think that's
there is a lot going on in Bangladesh, though.
That was just a random fucking thing.
No, there was a lot going on there, actually.
I had an ex that was stationed there, like 10, 15 years ago. So it must
That's
be like
a whole nother episode.
Yeah.
And we were going to do episodes on
India.
On India, anyway.
So, but I think that's great. Like, get our troops out of there. Help them help themselves, right? So, we've been there for the last fucking, 50 years. Let's bring back some of our troops and just help them help themselves, right? And that's what you want for everybody, for our children, for everybody. You don't want to have to be, guiding someone every 5 seconds. You want them to be strong and independent. So I've never heard another presidential person ever, say anything like that. And I'm like, that's really smart. Why are they so dependent on America? Let's let them be independent, you know? blah, blah, blah.
Especially, what I'll say, while you're fumbling over there.
Yeah,
your
exactly.
tongue.
Please, thank you.
No, I was just going to say that, if we did bring people home, our troops home, that maybe don't need to be places that they are for that long or anymore, then that's going to free up more protection and money for our country.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Which is all part of Trump's plan.
Yeah.
So he wants vital defense, military defense, and military supplies to be made in the U.S. and revive our industrial base, which obviously, like anything with manufacturing, I'm going to be super biased over, and I'm sorry, and I apologize about that right now, but I have a manufacturing machine shop, so this directly affects me, because I am a small business owner, and I do have some major issues with what is going on right now. So I'm all for like bringing everything back to America. I want American-made everything. I think it would just boost our economy so much. I know it would. So
again, more jobs and more money for the American people. And there's so many people that are homeless and without jobs.
That could use jobs.
They could benefit greatly. We could all benefit.
Yeah. He also wants to protect our nation's critical infrastructure and industrial base from malicious cyber attacks. So apparently, we keep getting cyber attacked. And it says malicious cyber actors. So there's like cyber actors out there, and I'm gonna go ahead and guess that those are the people who call you from like other countries, and they're like, "Hello, we've stolen your account, or your account's been hacked, or the police are coming."
Scammers,
cyber scammers,
Scammers.
Or just every cyber security in general is not okay. From other foreign countries, we hear about Russia, like we can't have TikTok because they're trying to ban TikTok because Russia is infiltrating it, or...
I thought it was China.
Okay, it's China.
I
Whatever! And every other day you hear about this person got cyber attacked, Chase Bank, the Caesars Palace.
Oh, it was just Bank of America recently.
Yeah, Bank of America, Scripps Health. There's just so many things that they just continually get hacked. So.
That just happened with Bank of America. People went to their account. Everything said zero. Like there was where did the money go? I don't know what ever happened with that.
They probably had to pay the hackers to release back the money or something.
I don't know if it was hackers necessarily, but it just was something bad happened.
That's crazy. All right, so then we are going to take a quick break. This was part 1 of our presidential debate 2024. Look for us next week for part 2 while we wrap it up and go over many more topics that Harris and Trump both have very different opinions about. Thank you guys so much for listening, and don't forget to vote, share, like, subscribe on all social media, and email us at conspiraciesunlocked@gmail.com. Bye!